Isn't that nice?
Eager to improve and educate others. Always willing to help. She is special to our school.
Delaine Eastin has seen firsthand how a young mind can blossom and grow with a little time spent in the garden.
Kids that are really exposed to gardening will love vegetables. I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree. You know, there's so much poetry and literature and art that is related to the garden. So it's math, it's science, it's the history of our country and the world, and it's just gorgeous.
While she's learned much from her own garden over the years, it was the lessons Delaine learned from her very first teachers, Hank and Dottie Eastin, that made the most impact on what she would go on to accomplish.
I'm very clear that my life was changed by having a great education. You know, my parents came out of a depression and a great war, and they didn't have the choices that I had. And they actually sacrificed for me to go to UC Davis.
She was the first in her family to attend college. The sacrifice her parents made cemented in Delaine's mind just how powerful an education can be.
And so for me, you know, it's the cornerstone, it's the centerpiece, really, of our society. Having a good education is how you get a great economy. It's not the great economy produces the great education.
And so she set out to improve society. First on the Union City Council, where she forged a partnership with a school district that increased attendance and decreased crime.
You know, I think being in Union City gave me the experience that said we can make a difference and we can make win-wins. We could work together.
That experience undoubtedly prepared Delaine for what came next. In 1986, she won the first of 4 terms in the Assembly and quickly went on to work here at the state capitol.
And I'm forever grateful for the chance to have been here because it was a very exciting time in my life.
Delaine had a reputation as a very hard worker, very smart, very dedicated. More significantly, I think she had a reputation for working across the aisle.
In 1988, A.G. Block was the editor of the California Journal and chose Eastin and the freshman class of lawmakers, notable for its large number of women, for his July cover. Eastin was considered Rookie of the Year and helped open eyes in a man's world to just how powerful women could be.
When she was in the legislature, she put into place massive plans and goals and visions for things like transportation, waste, construction, and so on. So when she went into education, she began to do the same thing.
In 1995, Eastin became the first and only woman elected as California Superintendent of Public Instruction. Not long after, she introduced a bold initiative.
She was the first superintendent in the nation to call for a garden in every school at a time when people might think math or reading was more important, and yet math and reading come alive in the garden, and she understood that.
Well, I mean, there was a woman on the state board who said I was distracting kids from real learning. And what I said was these gardens are living laboratories.
It was a different approach to learning, and looking back now, it was trend-setting. The Garden in Every School initiative came not long after her fight to reduce class size in kindergarten through 3rd grade. She's also credited with increasing access to technology, cutting administrative waste, and leaving such an imprint on education in California that in her hometown of Union City, a school stands today in her honor.
Hello, what an honor to meet you. I'm Carla Victor, I'm the principal.
Nice to meet you,
Good to meet you as well. How exciting.
Eastin Elementary was built in 2002. Delaine hasn't been back in a few years, but on this day,
Lily, nice to know you, Lily.
the red carpet rolled out for the woman even the youngest student here knows is one very important lady.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Alina, and I'm 4th grade in Miss Leung's class.
Wonderful. And then make them into crowns and play King of the Forest. So you know how you get kind of shy sometime and you don't like, well, I couldn't have done what I did if I was shy, so I had to kind of get some courage. And my high school drama teacher helped me to have the courage to try stuff.
In the hallway stands a bust of Delaine Eastin. In the play yard, a memorial garden to her parents.
So they were really special. They really encouraged me to get an education. And I was the first one of my parents didn't get to go to college.
And in typical Delaine fashion, it was also an opportunity to encourage some future Aggies.
Yeah, oh, picnic day is so much fun. They open all sorts of rooms so you can go see a horse on a treadmill. And, you know, they've got a fabulous veterinarian school. And
It's a school Delaine is proud to say has only 8% Caucasian students, but is a 9 out of 10 on the Academic Performance Index.
it's a very diverse school with amazing results. And it shows that a community that gets behind its children can do anything. There's a line that politics is the art of the possible.
And children who get a chance to learn can do just as much. It's a message so deeply ingrained in Eastin's being that she has continued to promote it as an active Aggie alumni, a member of many boards, and a mentor to aspiring politicians who today are students.
I got here because of a lot of great men and women who were my mentors and femtors and supporters, and I want to be that person as going forward. And I don't rule out continuing to cause trouble politically.
You know, Delaine is a force of nature, and she's not someone who readily accepts no.
She has an amazing personality, and she's very strong in her convictions and very strong in her values, and I think it's the combination of the two that makes her so exceptional.
She was the visionary leader with the courage, and the courage cannot be underestimated.
She is an exemplar of a UC Davis graduate who has dedicated her life to serving the state of California, and through the state, the people.
She continues to be a primary example of what UC students can become.
You know, my grandmother told her children the most important thing you can have in this world is to have an education.